Let me ask you a question that might hurt a little bit. Actually, I hope it hurts a lot because pain is the only thing that's going to make you listen music right now. If you met your future self, the version of you from 6 months from today, would they be proud of who you are right now? Or would they look at you with pity? Don't look away, I am talking to you. Would the person you're becoming look at the person you are today and thank you for the sacrifices you made? Or would they be begging you to stop wasting time? We are a third of the way through the year. Or maybe half, or maybe you're watching this at the very end. It doesn't matter. The calendar doesn't care about your feelings. The clock on the wall doesn't care about your potential. It just ticks, tick, 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 tick. And with every second that goes by, you are making a choice. You are either building the life you dream of, or you are feeding the nightmare you are living in. There is no middle ground. You're either growing or you are dying. Most of you are dying a slow death of comfort. You wake up to the same alarm. You scroll through the same apps, looking at the highlight reels of people who are living the life you promised yourself you would have by now. You go to the same job that drains your soul. You have the same conversations. You make the same excuses. I'll start on Monday. I'm just tired. I don't have the resources. It's not the right time. Let me tell you the brutal truth that no one else loves you enough to say. The right time is a lie. It doesn't exist. The universe is not going to part the clouds and shine a light on your desk and give you permission to be great. The world is chaotic. It is messy. It is hard. And if you are waiting for it to get easy before you start, you will be waiting until you are in the ground. You have been sleepwalking. You have been drowning in a sea of distractions, numbing yourself with cheap dopamine, hiding from the one person you can't escape, yourself. But here is the good news. The only news that matters right now. You can fix this. All of it. The debt, the body, the mindset, the broken relationships, the lack of purpose, all of it can change. And it doesn't take 10 years, it doesn't take a lifetime, it takes 6 months, 180 days, that is it. 6 music months of absolute unadulterated focus. 6 months of music doing what you said you were going to do. 6 months of disappearing into the dark so you can come back into music, the light, as someone unrecognizable. Imagine, just close your eyes for a second, and imagine what if you didn't quit this time? What if for the next 6 months you actually gave 100%, not the 40% you pretend is your best? I mean everything. What if you became obsessed? If you commit to what I'm about to tell you, if you actually listen and don't just consume this as motivation porn, but use it as a weapon, 6 months from now, your friends won't recognize you. Your family won't believe it's you. You won't even recognize yourself in the mirror. But you have to be willing to pay the price. And make no mistake, there is a price. You have to be willing to kill the old version of you so the new one can breathe. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to stop being a victim of your own habits and start being the architect of your future? Good. Then let's get to work. The art of disappearing, step 1, is not about adding things to your life. It is about subtraction. The biggest lie in the self-help music industry is that you need more. You need more apps, more strategies, music, more courses, more networking. No, you're already overwhelmed. You are drowning in more. To change your life in 6 months, you need to disappear. I don't mean you pack your bags and move to a cave in the Himalayas. I mean you disappear from the noise. You disappear from the expectations of others. You disappear from the cheap distractions that are eating your life, one notification at a time. You need to enter what the greats call monk mode or ghost mode. When you keep your goals to yourself, you build pressure. It's like a steam engine. If you let the steam out the whistle, you have no power to move the wheels. Keep the steam inside. Let that pressure build until it forces you to move. Let your results make the noise, not your mouth. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. This is the hardest part for most people. We crave validation. We want to be liked. But when you disappear, when you stop going to the bar every Friday night, when you stop responding to text instantly, when you say no to the parties and the social obligations, people will get offended. They will call you obsessive. They will say you've changed. They will say you think you're better than them. Let them talk. You have to realize that most people are walking around in a trance, terrified of being alone with their own thoughts. When they see you breaking free, when they see you choosing discipline over distraction, it shines a light on their own mediocrity. And music, they hate that. So they will try to drag you back down. They will try to humble you. You must cut the cord. You must prune the dead leaves from your tree. You cannot hang out with people who have no ambition and expect to music grow. You cannot discuss million-dollar dreams with people who have minimum wage mindsets. It is not harsh, it is survival. For 6 months, your circle needs to be music tight. It should be you, your mentors, whether real or through books and the work. That's it. You're going to feel lonely good. Loneliness is the price of greatness. Loneliness is where you find out who you really are. When the silence gets loud, when you are sitting there on a Friday night working on your craft while the rest of the world is out escaping reality, that is the moment of truth. That is the moment the old you dies and the new you begins to form. Embrace the boredom. We live in a world that is terrified of boredom. We fill every second with scrolling, watching, listening. But boredom is the birthplace of creativity. Boredom is where your brain finally has the space to solve the problems that have been holding you back. Stop running from the quiet. Run into it. The dopamine detox. Now that you've cleared the space, we have to talk about the engine, your brain. Right now, your brain is broken. I don't say that to be mean. I say it because it's true. For 99% of the population, your reward system has been hijacked. You are addicted to cheap dopamine. Every time you pick up your phone, every time you eat processed sugar, every time you watch pornography, every time you binge a TV show, you are frying your dopamine receptors. You are training your brain to expect a reward without any effort. And this is why music, you can't focus. This is why you have no motivation. Motivation is biological. It is driven by dopamine. When your baseline for dopamine is so high because of all this cheap stimulation, doing hard things feels impossible. Reading a book feels like torture. Working on your business feels boring. Going to the gym feels like a punishment because those things require effort before the reward. Your brain has been trained to demand the reward before the effort. If you want to change your life in 6 months, you have to reset your brain. You need a hard reset. You have to treat your focus like it is the music most expensive asset you own, because it is. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett said focus was the #1 reason for their music success. Not intelligence, not luck, focus. Can you sit in a room for 60 minutes and do one thing? Can you without picking up your phone, without opening a new tab, without getting a snack? If the answer is no, you are in trouble. But you can fix it. For the next 6 months, you are going to go on a low information diet. You are going to consume less so you can create more. Stop watching the news. It is designed to make you anxious and helpless. Stop caring about celebrity gossip. It has zero impact on your bank account or your happiness. Stop scrolling through TikTok or Instagram for 3 hours a day. That is not relaxing. That is self-destruction. Think about it. If you spend 3 hours a day on your phone, that is 21 hours a week. That is almost a full day every single week. That is nearly a full month of your life every year wasted staring at a screen of people you don't know, living lives you don't have. Get angry about that. Get furious that you are giving away your life to an algorithm that is designed to keep you poor and distracted. Reclaim your attention. When you wake up in the morning, do not touch your phone. For the first hour of the day, you must be the creator, not the consumer. The moment you check a notification, you are living in reaction mode. You are letting the world dictate your emotions. Oh, this person emailed me. Oh, look at this tragedy. Oh, look at this person having fun. Now, your cortisol is up, your focus is shattered, and you haven't even brushed your teeth yet. Win the morning. Win the day. You need to structure your day so that your hardest, most important work happens music when your brain is fresh. It's called deep work. Deep work is the superpower of the 21st century. It is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. This is where you produce value. This is where you learn skills. This is where you write the book, build the code, plan the business, sculpt the body. 4 hours of deep work is worth more than 8 hours of distracted work. If you can give me 4 hours of unshakable focus every day for 6 months, you will achieve more than most people achieve in 4 years. I'm not exaggerating. Most people are busy, but they are not productive. They are running on a hamster wheel, sweating, but going nowhere. You are going to step off the wheel. You are going to walk a straight line. Now, let's talk about how we actually execute this. Most people set goals. I want to make $1 million. I want to have 6-pack abs. I want to find my soulmate. Goals are fine for direction, but they are terrible for progress. Winners and losers have the same goals. Every athlete at the Olympics wants the gold medal. Every candidate wants the job. The goal doesn't make you special. The system makes you special. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits, and it is the gospel of transformation. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. A goal is a destination. A system is the vehicle that gets you there. If you want to write a book, the goal is finished book. The system is write 500 words every morning at 7:00 a.m. If you want to get fit, the goal is lost 20 lbs. The system is eating whole foods and lifting weights 4 days a week. For the next 6 months, I want you to forget about the result. Detach yourself from the outcome completely. This sounds music counterintuitive, right? You're thinking, but I need to focus on the prize. No, focusing on the prize creates anxiety. Music, it makes you look at the gap between where you are and where music you want to be. And that gap is painful. That gap makes you quit because it feels too big. Instead, fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the boredom of consistency. Music, you need to become a robot. You need to remove feelings from the equation. Amateurs wait until they feel like working. Professionals work because that is what they do. Do you think the top athletes in the world feel like training every single day? Do you think the top CEOs feel like dealing with crises every day? No. But they have built a system where their feelings are irrelevant. You need to build a routine that is so strong it pulls you through on your worst days, because the bad days are coming in this 6-month journey. You are going to hit a wall. Usually, it happens around week 3 or 4. The initial burst of motivation, the honeymoon phase of self-improvement will wear off. You will be tired. You will see no results yet. The scale won't move. The bank account will look the same. Your music will feel like you're working for nothing. This is the valley of despair, and this is where 90% of people quit. They say, I tried, it didn't work, and they go back to their old lives. But you are going to know that the valley of despair is a lie. It is a test. It is the universe asking you, how bad do you want this? You're going to keep showing up, not because you see the sun, but because you know the sun is there. You are going to pound the stone. There is a story about a stone cutter. He hits the rock 99 times music, and there isn't even a crack. But on the 100th blow, the rock splits in two. It wasn't the 100th blow that did it. It was the 99 blows before that seemed music like they were doing nothing. Your first 3 months are the 99 blows. You are rewiring your neurology. You are building muscle memory. You are changing your identity. You can't see it yet, but beneath the surface, the pressure is building. The crack is forming. Identity shift. And this brings us to the deepest level of change, the level that makes it permanent. You can change your habits for a while using willpower, but willpower is a battery. It runs out. If you are constantly fighting yourself to do the work, eventually you will lose. To change your life in 6 months, you have to change your identity. You have to stop saying, I am trying to quit smoking, and start saying, I am not a smoker. You have to stop saying, I am trying to run, and start saying, I am a runner. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. Music, your behavior will always chase your identity. If you believe you are a lazy person who is trying to be productive, your brain will subconsciously sabotage you to bring you back to your baseline of laziness. It wants to be consistent with music, who it thinks you are. You have to kill the old identity. This is why I told you to disappear. You need to grieve the loss of your old self. Sit down and write a eulogy for the person you used to be. The person who procrastinated, the person who blamed others, the person who played the victim, the person who was afraid to fail. Write it down. Here lies the old me, and bury them. From this moment on, you are operating as your future self. When you have a decision to make, whether to eat the pizza or the salad, whether to sleep in or get up, whether to scroll or to study, you don't ask, what do I feel like doing? You ask, what would the best version of myself do? And then you do that. Every time you choose the hard right over the easy wrong, you're casting music a vote for this new identity. You're proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. Confidence doesn't come from shouting affirmations in the mirror. Confidence comes from a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. You build that proof music, 1 rep, 1 page, 1 hour, 1 healthy meal at a time. You're building a reputation with yourself. And once you trust yourself, once you know that if you say you're going to do something, it is as good as done, that is when you become dangerous. That is when you become unstoppable. We are entering the war zone now, the war against mediocrity, the war against your past. I want to give you the specific roadmap, the breakdown of exactly what to do in month 1, month 3, and month 6 to ensure you don't fall off, because motivation gets you started. But strategy keeps you going. The first 30 days, gravity and friction. So here is the strategy. We are not guessing anymore. We are executing. Month 1 is the hardest month you will ever live through. I need you to know that right now. I am not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to be a breeze. It's going to feel like you're walking through wet concrete. This is the gravity phase. Think about a rocket ship. A rocket music burns 80% of its fuel just in the first few minutes of launch. Why? Because it has to break the gravitational pull of the Earth. It has to fight the atmosphere. It has to fight the weight of its own existence. That is you in month 1. You are fighting the gravity of your past. You are fighting the biological patterns that have been wired into your brain for 10, 20, maybe 30 years. Your body is going to scream at you. You will feel tired. You will feel irritable. You will catch yourself staring at the wall. Your brain begging for a hit of dopamine, begging for the old comfort. Do not listen to the noise. In these first 30 days, we're going to use a rule called the 9091 rule. Music, it comes from the high-performance playbooks, and it is the antidote to procrastination. For the next 90 days, you devote the first 90 minutes of your workday to the one single opportunity that will move the needle most in your life. Not email, not checking the news, not getting organized, music, actual deep work. If you want to be a writer, you write for 90 minutes. If you're building a business, you do outreach for 90 music minutes. If you are learning a new skill to pivot your career, you study that code or that design for 90 minutes. You do this before the world wakes up. You do this before the vultures come for your time. I call them vultures because that is music what distractions are. They pick at the carcass of your time until there's nothing left. The moment you open your phone, the vultures circle. Look at this, reply to this, buy this. In month 1, you're building the fortress. You're creating a no-fly zone around your mornings. You might fail a few times. Music, you might wake up late. You might stare at the blank page and feel paralysis. That is okay. The goal in month 1 is not perfection. The goal is consistency. It's about showing up when you feel dead inside. There is a concept in psychology called behavioral activation. It basically means that you cannot wait for motivation to strike to take action. You have to take action to trigger the motivation. You have to music drag your body to the desk, and your feelings will eventually catch up. You're going to feel like a fraud in month 1. You're going to look in the mirror and say, who am I kidding? I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not an athlete. That is just the old you trying to survive. The ego hates change because change feels music like death to the ego. Let it die. Keep pushing. Just get to day 30. That is your only mission. Survive the launch. Months 2 and 3, the silent grind and the crab bucket. If you make it past day music 30, something dangerous happens. The excitement fades. In the beginning, your music had the adrenaline of the new resolution. You posted about it, you felt pumped up. But by month 2 and 3, the adrenaline is gone. Music and the results, they aren't there yet. You're working out every day, but you still don't see the abs. You're writing every day, but the bank account music hasn't moved. You are studying every night, but you still feel like a beginner. This is the void. This is where the tourists go home. This is where the people who just wanted a quick fix pack up their bags and return to mediocrity. But you are not a tourist. You are a settler. You are here to build a new civilization in months 2 and 3. You have to fall in love with the plateau. You have to music understand the law of the bamboo tree. You've heard it before, but have you learned it? A Chinese music bamboo tree spends 5 years growing underground. You water it, you fertilize it, and you see nothing. Absolutely nothing. But in the 5th year, once the root system is deep and wide enough to support the weight, it shoots up 80 feet in 6 weeks. Music months 2 and 3, are you building the roots? You are working in the dark. And this is also when the social pressure kicks in. I mentioned the vultures, but now we have to talk about the crabs. Have you ever seen a bucket of crabs? If one crab tries to crawl out, the other crabs don't just watch, they grab at music and pull it back down when you start changing your life. The people around you, even the people who love you, might start acting weird. They won't say, I don't want you to succeed. They will say things like, why are you working so hard? You need to relax. You've changed. You're not fun anymore. Come on. One drink won't kill you. They're not bad people. They're just terrified. Because if you succeed, if you actually do this, it forces them to look at their own lives and realize they gave up. Your discipline is an insult to their comfort. So they will try to pull you back into the bucket. In months 2 and 3, you have to be ruthless with your environment. You might have to walk alone for a while. You might have to say goodbye to the Friday night crew. You might have to distance yourself from the negative family member who always tells you to be realistic. Realistic music is the most dangerous word in the English language. Realistic is the fence that keeps the sheep music in the pen. Do not be realistic, be unreasonable. It is unreasonable to work when everyone else is sleeping. It is unreasonable to say no to immediate pleasure for a future reward. Music, it is unreasonable to believe in a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. But the world is changed by unreasonable people. So in this phase, you double down. You stop looking at the scoreboard. You stop checking the likes. You stop checking the scale. You focus entirely on the inputs. Did I do the work today? Yes or no? That is the only question that matters. The career and financial pivot. Now let's talk about the fuel for your freedom. Money, career, purpose. You cannot change your life if you are trapped in a cycle of financial survival. You cannot be creative if you are terrified of the rent. By month 4, we need to look at your professional value. Jim Rand said it best, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Most people think security comes from a job. That is a lie. We saw it in 2020. We see it every music time the economy dips. Jobs are not secure. Skills are secure. If you are 20 years into a career and you are doing the same thing you did in year 1, you do not have 20 years of experience. You have 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. You are obsolete and you don't even know it. In month 4, you need to aggressively upgrade your software. I'm talking about your brain. What is the skill that is going to take you to the next level? Is it public speaking? Is it sales? Is it coding? Is it digital marketing? Is it leadership? You need to become a student again and listen to music me closely. Stop bleeding money. Part of this 6-month transformation is financial discipline. Music, stop buying things to impress people you don't even like. Stop financing a lifestyle you haven't earned yet. Music, that is the behavior of a slave. You are working 40 hours a week to pay interest on a credit card for a pair of shoes or a car that is losing value every single day. That is madness. Regain your dignity. Live below your means for 6 months so you can live above them for the rest of your life. When you have money in the bank, you walk differently. You don't have to tolerate disrespect. You don't have to say yes to every desperate deadline. Money is not just currency. It is options. It is freedom. By month 4, you should be stacking cash and stacking skills. You are building the engine that will power the new you. Months 5 and 6, the unstoppable momentum. We are entering the home stretch. Months 5 and 6. If you have stuck to the plan, if you have survived the gravity of month 1, the void of months 2 and 3, and the pivot of month 4, something magical starts to happen here. The struggle disappears. The habits that felt like torture, they are now automatic. You don't even think about going to the gym anymore. You just go. It's like music brushing your teeth. You don't need willpower to brush your teeth. You just do it because it's who you are. You have reached a stage of unconscious competence. This is where the results start to compound. Suddenly, people start noticing, hey, you look great. Hey, you seem different. Wow, how did you get that? Promotion. They think you got lucky. They didn't see the 4 months of darkness. They didn't see the early mornings. They didn't see the loneliness. And the beautiful thing is, you won't care what they think anymore, because by month 5, you have proven something to yourself that no one can take away. You have proven that you are the captain of your soul. Now is the time to press the gas pedal. Most people, when they see a little bit of success, they take their foot off the gas. They get comfortable. Oh, I lost 10 lbs, I can have a cheat week. Oh, I made a few sales, I can relax. Music, no. This is where you kill the old version of you for good. This is where you bury the zombie. You increase the intensity, you raise the standard. If you ran a 10K, sign up for a marathon. If you made $10,000, aim for $20,000. If you read 5 books, read 10. You need to expand your capacity. The goal of these 6 months was never just to reach a destination. It was to expand your container. You see, you cannot pour a gallon of water into a pint-sized cup. If you win the music lottery tomorrow, but you have a poor man's mindset, you will lose it all. We see it happen every day. But over these 6 months, you have stretched your mind. You have stretched your discipline. You have become a bigger vessel. Now you are ready to receive the abundance that life has been trying to give you. In month 6, you are not trying to change your life anymore. You have changed it. You look back at the person you were 180 days ago, and it feels like a stranger. It feels like a distant memory. You remember their fears, their excuses, their laziness, but you don't feel them anymore. You are free. The crossroads, your final decision. So, here we are. I have given you the map. I have told you about the traps. I have shown you the price you have to pay. Now the video is about to end, and you, music, have a choice to make. A choice that you cannot click undo on. You can close this tab, go back to your social media, go back to your comfort zone and pretend you never heard this. You can go back to sleep, and tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday. And next year will look exactly like music this year. And you will slowly drift towards a life of regret. A life of what if. A life where you die with your music still music inside you. And let me tell you, there is no burden heavier than the weight of potential. There is no pain sharper than looking back at the end of your life and seeing the person you could have been standing there waiting for you to just show up. Or you can make today day one, not one day, day one. You can take a deep breath, look around at your life and say enough. Enough of the excuses, enough of the fear, enough of playing small. You can decide right now in this second that the next 6 months will be the period where everything changed, the period that your future family will talk about, the turning point. It is going to be hard. I promise you that there will be tears. There will be moments you want to quit. There will be days where you feel like the world is against you. But I also promise you this. On the other side of that pain is a version of you that is stronger, happier, and more powerful than you can possibly imagine. The door is open. The clock is ticking. The 180 days start now. Don't just watch this. Do not just consume this. Go out there and change everything. The ghost of the past and the 2-day rule. But before you step through that door, before you commit your soul to this 6-month war, I need to warn you about the ghosts because they are coming for you. You see, when I told you the valley of despair happens in month 2, I was talking about the external struggle, the boredom, the lack of results. But there is a second enemy, and this one lives inside your ribcage. It is the ghost of your past failures. Music, it is simple, but it will save your life. The rule is this. You are allowed to miss one day. You are human. You are not a machine. But you are never, under any circumstances, music allowed to miss 2 days in a row. If you miss a workout on Tuesday, you must work out on Wednesday. If you eat trash on Friday, you must eat clean on Saturday. Never let the slip-up become a streak. You have to understand that perfection is not the goal. Relentless forward motion is the goal. If you trip while running a marathon, do you lie on the pavement and say, well, I guess I'm not a runner? No. You scrape your knees, you get up and you keep running. You have to forgive yourself, bastard. The old you would wallow in guilt. The old you would spend 3 days beating yourself up. The new you, the version of you that emerges from this 6-month crucible. That version has a short memory. You messed up, good. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and then 5 music seconds later, get back to work. Guilt is a wasted emotion. It doesn't burn calories. It doesn't build business. It just keeps you stuck in music, the past, and we are not going that way. We are going forward. The loneliness of the eagle. Now, we need to have a heart-to-heart about the price of admission. I told you about the work. I told you about the discipline, but I didn't tell you about the silence. As you climb this mountain over the next 6 months, the air gets thinner and the crowd gets smaller. There is a reason why a Bugatti has 2 seats and a bus has 50. The journey to the top is not a group outing. You are going to outgrow people, and this is going to hurt. It's going to break your heart a little bit. See, you have friends music right now who love you, but they love the current you. They love the you who complains about their boss. They love the you who gets wasted on the weekends. They love the you who is just as broken as they are because it makes them feel safe. It validates their own lack of ambition. But when you start changing, when you start talking about ideas instead of people, when you start talking about your vision instead of your drama, they won't know how to relate to you anymore. The conversations will get awkward. There will be pauses. You will look at them and realize music, you have nothing to say. You will look at the things that used to entertain you and realize they are empty. And they will feel it too. They will say, "You've changed." They will say it like it's an accusation, like it's a crime. And you will look them in the eye and say, "Yes, I have." That was the point. You have to be okay with being the villain in their story so you can be the hero in yours. You have to be okay with the empty chair. You have to be okay with music walking into a room and feeling like you don't belong because you don't belong there anymore. You belong somewhere else, somewhere higher, somewhere you haven't reached yet. Eagles fly alone, pigeons flock together. If you want to fly at the altitude of the greats, you cannot keep the habits of the flock. You might spend Saturday nights alone, reading a book or working on your plan while everyone you know is at the club, and you will feel a pang of FOMO, fear of missing out. But let me tell you what you are really missing out on. You are missing out on the hangover. You are missing out on the empty conversations. You are missing out on the regret. And in exchange for that temporary loneliness, you are gaining yourself. You are building a relationship with the only person who will be with you until your final breath. You. Do you like yourself? If you were stripped of your phone, your friends, your distractions, and locked in a room for 24 hours, would you enjoy the company? If the answer is no, that is why you are failing. Use these 6 months to become someone you respect, someone you admire, someone you actually want to hang music out with. When you love your own company, you are never lonely. You are just alone. And there is a massive difference. Power is found in solitude. Weakness is found in the crowd, the imposter music, and the architect. Somewhere around month 4 or 5, when the results actually start pouring in, when the weight drops, when the money comes, when the praise starts, you will face the final boss. Imposter syndrome. You will look around at your new life and think, "I don't belong here, I'm faking it." Any minute now, they are going to find out I'm a fraud. This is your brain trying to protect you. Your brain loves the familiar. Even if the familiar is misery, music success is unfamiliar. Happiness is unfamiliar. So, your subconscious mind tries to sabotage you to get you back to your baseline. It happens to lottery winners. They win millions and within 2 years they are broke again. Why? Because they had a millionaire's bank music account but a poor man's identity. They subconsciously destroyed their success because they didn't believe they deserved it. You have to fight this with everything you have. You deserve this, not because you are special, but because you paid the price. The universe operates on the law of cause and effect. It is a mathematical equation. If you put in the inputs, you get the outputs. You didn't get here by accident. You got here because you woke up at 5:08. You got here because you said no to the donut. You got here because you studied when others slept. Own it. Stop shrinking. Stop deflecting compliments with self-deprecation. When someone says, "Wow, you look amazing," do not say, "Oh, it's just good lighting." Look them in the eye and say, "Thank you, I worked hard for this." Validate your own effort. You are the architect. You drew the blueprint 6 months ago. You laid the bricks. You poured the foundation. You put up the walls. This house is yours. Live in it. And understand this, the feeling of fear never goes away completely. The high achievers, the people you look up to, they are scared too. They just don't let the fear vote. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear, feeling the shaking music in your hands, feeling the doubt in your stomach and doing it anyway. For the last leg of this journey, you must become fearless. Not in the music sense that you feel nothing, but in the sense that you fear regret more than you fear failure. What is the worst that can happen? You try and you fail. So what? You are back where you started. You have lost nothing. But what if you don't try? What if you pull back? Then you lose everything. You lose the possibility. You lose the potential. You lose the dream. Day 181, the infinite game. So what happens on day 181? What happens when the 6 months are over? Do you pop the champagne, eat a pizza, and go back to sleeping until noon? If you do that, you have missed the point entirely. This 6-month plan, it was never about the destination. It was about the vehicle. It was about building a machine that can drive for the rest of your life. On day 181, you don't stop, you just set a bigger goal. You see, success is not a finish line, it is a lifestyle. You don't win life, you just keep playing. It is an infinite game. The man who climbs Music Mount Everest doesn't stay on the summit, he comes down, and what does he do? Does he sit on his couch and talk about that one time he climbed a mountain? If he has the spirit of a warrior, no. He looks for the next mountain. He looks for a harder route. The growth is the reward. The money is great. The body is great. The freedom is great. But the person you become in the process, the discipline, the resilience, the character, that is the true goal. That is the asset that no market crash can take away from you. That is the asset that no divorce can take away from you. You are building an impenetrable mind. So when you get to the end of these 6 months, do not ask, can I rest now? Ask, how far can I really go? If I could do this in 6 months, what could I do in 6 years? If I could change my body in 180 days, could I change the music world in a decade? You have cracked the code. You have realized that you have your hand on the steering wheel. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the music driver and the road is wide open. Do not waste this momentum. Momentum is the hardest thing to create and the easiest music thing to lose. Keep the flywheel spinning. The final verdict. I want you to close your eyes one last time. I want you to picture a funeral. It's a somber day. The rain is falling. People are dressed in black. There is a casket music at the front of the room. You walk up to the casket, you look inside. It's you. But it's not the you that you are today. It's the you from the future. What are they saying about you? Are they saying, here lies a man who had so much potential, but he was too afraid to use it? Are they saying, here lies a woman who dreamed of great things, but she was too busy scrolling on her phone to build them? Are they talking about the TV shows you watched? Are they talking about the excuses you made? Are they talking about how realistic you were? Or are they standing there in awe? Are they telling stories of how you defied the odds? How you changed your family's legacy? How you pulled yourself out of the darkness and built a lighthouse for others? Are they saying, here lies a person who emptied the tank, who gave everything, who left nothing on the table? The choice is yours and you're making it right now. You're making it with every second that ticks by. You don't have time. You think you have time, but you don't. Life is a vapor. It is a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. You are going to die. That is the only guarantee in this life. You are going to die. The only variable is how you live. Do not let your music dreams die with you in the graveyard. The graveyard is the richest place on earth. It is filled with books never written, businesses never launched, songs never sung, love never expressed. Do not add to that treasure. Rob the graveyard. Bring your gifts into the light. Give yourself music 6 months, just 6 months. Turn off the noise, lock the door, do the work, face the pain, embrace the loneliness, build the system. And I promise you, I swear to you, if you do this, if you really do this, you will not just change your life. You will become the person you were always meant to be. The clock is running. Day 1 starts right now. Go about 3 weeks into this plan. You are going to have a bad day. It is inevitable. You will miss a workout. You will binge eat the junk food. You will scroll on your phone for 4 hours and hate yourself. You will snap at your spouse. You will feel the heavy, suffocating blanket of your old depression trying to wrap itself around you again. And in that moment of weakness, the ghost will whisper to you. It will say, see, I told you, you haven't changed. You're still the same lazy, undisciplined loser you've always been. Just quit. It's easier down here in the mud. This is the most critical moment of the entire 6 months. Most people, the 99, they listen to the ghost. They interpret a slip-up as a failure. They think because they fell off the wagon is gone. They spiral. One bad day becomes a bad week. A bad week becomes a bad month, and suddenly they are back to zero.